What's going on, everyone? Austin John Place here, and today I'm going to be answering a very big question. Which way do you go in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? I just released my video for tips for a new playthrough that I finished recording last night. I woke up this morning and I realized the last 12 minutes of the video was me improperly explaining this concept and that it deserved its own separate video. Here I am now recording that video. I was looking over my notes and I missed something in the last video. The number one thing I forgot to mention has to do with the map. So if you look at the bottom right, see how north is to the right, and I pull up my map and north is to the right. If you press in the right stick, which is R3, doing that will make it so your map is always locked north. Do that. Make your life so much easier. As soon as you go to school for the first time, you have 3 main quests ahead of you. After speaking with Arvin inside of the school, he's going to be giving you the quest for the Path of Legends. Now, the Path of Legends involves going to 5 separate areas on the map. Can we just fast forward to that part? Yeah, there we go. 5 separate areas on the map to conquer the 5 Titans in search of the legendary Herba Mystica. That includes the Stony Cliff Titan, who's Klawf, who we've seen extensively in pre-release footage, the Lurking Steel Titan, who's a new Pokemon, the False Dragon Titan, who's a new Pokemon, the Quaking Earth Titan, who is 2 new Pokemon exclusive to Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and the Open Sky Titan, who's also a new Pokemon. I'm going to try to avoid talking about what these Pokemon are or showing off their specific species since they're a little bit later. In addition, your rival Nemona, her name is in Italian Nemi, which I kind of like that a little bit more. She is going to be giving you the, I forgot the name of it, but it's the gyms. The gyms include Grass, Electric, Ice, Ghost on the left, Psychic, Bug, Water, and Normal. That's not a specific order in which their levels are properly scaled or anything else like that. That's just kind of 4 and 4 on each side. So far officially revealed, we've had Iono from the Levencia gym. She's the electric type gym leader. And I think his name is Arceus. That's someone from Game of Thrones. He's the grass type gym leader at the Artisan gym. Those are the only 2 that's been shown extensively in pre-release coverage from Pokemon. And then also while you're in the school, some random crazy cell phone with green text message happens, and that's from Cassiopeia. That's the best I'm going to be able to pronounce that. Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia is going to task you with taking down Team Star, who's considered the rival gang in this game, including the Fire Crew, who is Fire type, the Poison Crew, you get the point, the Fighting Crew, the Fairy Crew, and the Dark Crew. After accepting all of these, they are going to be put onto your map when zoomed out at the furthest level. I've already done a few of them. And when you look at them, there's kind of like an order, but kind of not. Now, while this game is a loose definition of an open world game in the fact that you can explore pretty much anywhere, anytime, as I explained in my last video, even during the tutorial, you can break sequence, get out, and go to the top of the mountain. The only things that you cannot do are reach areas that are specific to your ride Pokemon upgrades. Now, between Victory Road, Starfall Street, and the Path of Legends, all 3 of them reward you with different things. I'm going to be somewhat vague about this whenever necessary, but I am going to give you detail whenever it's really helpful. And speaking of really helpful, you know what's really helpful? Our video sponsor, Fire. Are you tired of eating raw food? Do you get sick for extended periods of time from just eating raw food everywhere? Well, you can cook it with this brand new invention called Fire. It can produce heat. It can light up environments. Or it can be used as an emoji to let someone know that they dressed very well. Be sure to use Fire at your next opportunity that you don't want to have raw food. Back with the video. Let's start with explaining the Path of Legends. It includes conquering 5 Titan Pokemon at 5 different points in the map. There is Klawf, the Stony Cliff Titan. On the left side of the map, we have the West Province Area 1 Open Sky Titan. Just above that, you have the Path of Legends in the Asado Desert, being the ground type legend Pokemon. All the way to the north on the left, you're going to be having the Path of Legends at the Cagelocke Lake. I don't know, maybe that's how that's said, maybe it's not. I'm known for not saying things right, but shucks do I try. This is the False Dragon Titan, and then over here on the middle right, there it is, we have the Steel Titan. It's in the East Province, Area 3. It's Steel type. These 5 Titans are going to give you 5 different abilities for your Rhydon. Cloth over here is going to be giving you the ability to boost. That's going to make it so that when you are on your Rhydon, if you push in the left stick, you're going to be able to boost and you get a little bit of a speed burst, but then you don't need to hold anything. You're now just going faster until you let go. The Flying type Titan is going to give you the ability to surf. It's not something you ever really have to think about, just whenever you're on your Rhydon and then you go in the water, he's now surfing. It's significantly more intuitive than it was in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was already very intuitive, so it got better somehow. The Ground Titan is going to give you the ability to glide. I'm not saying fly, you already have fast travel, you get the ability to glide. Glide as a mechanic has been nerfed quite a bit from the Pokemon Legends Arceus implementation of it. Not only do you not gain height, you actually lose height faster, and there's a distance drop off. So the further you go, the less far you go and you start to drop down completely. I feel like that's mandatory because this, the False Dragon, gives you ability to climb to some of the highest peaks within caves, on the side of buildings and walls, and a whole bunch of stuff that make traversing so much easier. Once you get climb and glide, the game essentially becomes like Breath of the Wild in that if you see it, you can go there. No matter what, except for this little part of the map right here that has all these little dotty-doos on it, which doesn't go anywhere. If this area is based off of Spain and Portugal, then that would be France, which in the Pokemon region is Kalos. But data miners have actually looked this up and there is nothing programmed up here. You can't climb it, no reason to go there until the DLC, which is obviously going to happen. Oh, and then last over here is the Steel Titan. He lets you jump higher. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's very useful. In fact, that you could tap B and you do your current level of jump, or you tap and hold and then you jump higher, kind of like how Luigi does in Super Mario Bros. U, stuff like that. The 5 Titan abilities make it significantly easier to traverse the world. There are going to be some parts of the world and some quests for some Pokemon that do require you to have all 5 of these abilities. I still have egg pastina in my teeth. Let's talk about the gyms. The gym's biggest benefit is that it's going to give you the ability to control wild Pokemon at a higher level. If you go to your trainer card and then hit A to change view, you'll see at the bottom gym badge effects. I've gotten 1 gym badge so far, and it went from level 20 Pokemon will obey me to level 25 Pokemon will obey me. This is directly linked to one specific area. If I look at Donphan's summary here, it says, at the time the Pokemon was level 18. That means that I got it under level 20, so it obeyed me from the beginning, and it doesn't matter what level it goes to now. But if it says at the time the Pokemon was level 26, then I currently cannot control it. But after my next gym badge that brings me to level 30, then I can control it. It goes 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then everything. Think that's how that works. Don't quote me on that, but that's close to exactly how it works, if not exactly how it works. In addition, your gym badges will tell you the level of raids you are allowed to participate in. I haven't tested this exactly, but I'm pretty sure it follows the same mechanics as Sword and Shield, that if you have 4 badges, you can do level 3 raids. Anytime before 4 badges, you can only do 1 and 2 star raids. After you get your 8th gym badge, you can participate in 4-star raids. After you become champion, you can do 5-star raids. After a good amount of hours after you become champion and many things that happen in the game occur, you can then do a daily 6-star raid. Doing a 6-star raid by yourself is not easy. Even if your Pokemon is level 100, has a beneficial nature, has a competitive moveset, has the best items possible, there's a very good chance you will not beat it. And it's at those times that you're going to need the help of your friends. I plan on putting out a video on how to do Terra Raid Dens and how terastallization actually works in the game, and the extra level of thinking you need to do to properly accomplish them. How many badges for what Pokemon will listen to you is only affected by gym badges. It is not affected by Titan badges or star badges. Because you'll see here, badges collected is 3. That's including the stars, the Titans, and the gyms. But only the gym badges will dictate your raid level and your obedience levels. And then after you do all 8 of the gyms, you can go to the Pokemon League, which is over here. It says Pokemon League, and you can apply to become champion because this game has many champions. Quick pro tip, remember the name of one gym leader and the town that they're located in and the type of Pokemon they have when you go in there with your 8th gym badge. And lastly, let's talk about Team Star. Team Star has 5 main bases. As you saw in the preview, once you go in there, you're going to be able to throw out 3 Pokemon for the essentially Horde battle, which the only thing you need to do is make sure that you have a Pokemon whose type is offensively super effective to fire, or in this case, dark, or so on and so forth like that. As long as you have 3 of those Pokemon at the appropriate level for that complex, you're gonna do just fine. But then taking on the Starmobile and the leader of Team Star themselves is another challenge altogether. You may have seen the Pokemon that is used for the Starmobile, and you may be familiar with that Pokemon's typing. That is not the Pokemon's typing, stats, or ability during that battle. In fact, think of it more like 5 small Eternamaxes. It's not Eternatus, it's a different form that you cannot obtain anywhere, and it has different stuff to it. Think of it like that. That's kind of what the Starmobiles are. Anytime that you defeat one of the Team Star compounds, you complete a portion of the Team Star story, and you get TMs and you get crafting materials, and I think that's kind of it. Honestly, it's the most lackluster of the 3 rewards compared to the other 2 and how it allows you to explore, or in my opinion it is. It has a pretty interesting story that involves the school and some stuff about that. I'll let you experience that for yourself because it's a fun read. Not on your 3rd playthrough though. You may be looking at this map and seeing a glaring thing. That in the top right portion of the map, you see this little, hey, not an active area pattern, and I told you for a fact that there's nothing there, and you may notice that there's another portion of the map that has that same, hey, you can't go here pattern. This is called the Great Crater of Paldea. You can eventually go here. It does require you to complete all 3 stories. So this is kind of the end game, Tony Stark.
And that's all I have to say about that.
And that's essentially how the treasure hunt works and the 3 separate main stories and their convergence. You can do any of these 18 tasks in any order that you would like. And while the game is a loose interpretation of the term open world, that does not mean that it has dynamic level scaling. The Pokemon in these areas close to Mesagosa are always going to be the same level. Typically, the higher altitude areas that are more difficult to reach may have higher level Pokemon, but as a rule of thumb, the further you go away from Mesagosa, the higher level the random Pokemon are going to be. Over here, we're experiencing Pokemon in the 10s, and then at the higher points, you're in level 30. Over here, you get to like the low teens. Over here's the high teens, low 20s. Over here, we start to get to level 30. Over here, wild Pokemon are level 50, and that remains constant all throughout this area. Some areas, they even reach level 60, so there's a lot going on with that. Likewise, the gyms, Team Star compounds, and Titans that are closer to Mesagosa are lower level, and then they go out like this. Typically, if the wild Pokemon of that area are too high of a level for you, then the objectives in that area are going to be difficult for you to conquer. In my first playthrough, I didn't want to go the way that they showed in the pre-release information. I instead went this way to the Bug-type gym leader, realized that I couldn't do anything in this cave because things were too high of a level. Then I went north, I did the Flying Titan, and then I did the Dark Team Star base after a lot of grinding. And then I went this way and swept all 3 of these. I say your number 1 thing to do would be go around and unlock all the fast travel points. I'm working on that video right now. But if you start going in a direction, you start hitting some resistance that makes it hard to progress, swing back, and do things in the opposite direction. Or, if you're good, you could power level on one side. And that's a fun thing to do. So at the super duper beginning of the game, where should you go? Honestly, I would say make sure you got all the stuff in this wonderful, lush, grassy area. Explore next to the oceans. Definitely head way towards Cloth for the boost, because that makes the game so much more bearable. And then I would say just explore out from this one corner. Go for the Steel Titan, because in my opinion, it's kind of easy to do. If you have a healthy ground type, then Iono's gym should be pretty easy to achieve. And then maybe head toward the left side and then knock out Surf and Glide and things like that. Actually, my advice is unlock the fast travel points, start in this corner, work your way out. There you go. Guys, I hope you're enjoying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet so far, and I hope you're enjoying my coverage of the game. If you are, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.
Man, they see me shining like I got the charm. Stay strapped, got that jet ball in my palm. Fell from the sky, guess I'm the chosen one. And if you need to know how, check out Austin John. Champion flow, yeah, I got that champion flow.